Hello, let's make a video here of Gukesh playing in the candidates. Sorry for showing that. I chosen this game from round 7 in the first half of the tournament against Firouzja. I thought it was quite an interesting game. Because Firouzja really tried to win here. And before the candidate started, Firouzja was one of the favorites. Not many players thought Gukesh would have a good chance here. Just playing the London system, and it becomes a regular, like this. This structure is known as the Carlsen structure, and because Black couldn't get he didn't bring his bishops outside, and this is playing a bit safer, and he could play it here and then trade the bishop anyway. And here I think Firouzja plays interestingly here, instead of just maybe take on b5 and maybe trade queens with queen e2 and go for a drawn endgame. He's trying to win here with h4 and rook h3. It's non-standard play. So that's why I thought we should look at this one. And let's see if we could see how the here we have round for round. So Gukesh won against Pragananda here and then he also won against, I think it was Abbasov. Yeah, he won against Abbasov. And then he's playing in round 7, he's playing against Firouzja, which he will lose. Firouzja started and had a very bad tournament here, and he never recovered. So basically the tournament became a race between Gukesh, Nakamura, Nepomniachtchi and Fabiano Caruana, and all of them started good here, but as we will see in the end games here, Gukesh he won a lot of games in the end and managed to get first place, but it was just half a point. This plus system here, it means if you have +2 like Gukesh has here, he has 2 more wins than draws. That's what it means. And if you're an equal, you're all draws. And so here is on 2 and he loses this game, so he goes to +1. And here we can say +4. So it will be interesting here that he's playing the top players here and really showing his best chess when he needed to, because we can see here it's Gukesh and Nepomniachtchi were leading the tournament, and then here round 12 Nakamura caught up, and then also Fabiano. And this made it for a very exciting finish here. But Firouzja always have very interesting games, so I wanted to show a game with him. So here he's kinda like wanting Black to take on f1. So after he takes on f1, he can go king g1. That's the plan. And no, it's a normal position. Only difference is that the white's rook is on h3 here in this normal structure. So here he decides to take with a pawn. If you take with a pawn, it's often a sign of a time to go for an attack on the king side. Safer move would be to take with the bishop. And now, of course, this is a threat, so he needs to move the king. And he's also preparing to meet this one with this maneuver here, rook g8. But it's still like, objectively, this kind of an attack shouldn't be anything, because Black has traded correct pieces, traded a white square bishop, for example. So, as you can see, the computer also thinks that the position is equal here. But it will be a very interesting finish to the game. And I didn't really understand this a5. He played a5 and then after queen c7, like it's just hard to defend it. He can't defend both pawns. It's a double attack, both here and here. Of course, taking on e5 sometimes could be a little bit dangerous because of the pin. But white decides to defend e5 and black takes here. Then, like, why did he play a5, just losing a pawn for nothing? But let's see here what happens. White still has quite an active position, so apparently it's still equal even if white lost a pawn. And he does this one, I call this the Liang maneuver here. He loves this because prepare to get the safe as possible before you things gets heated up. So he likes king h8, rook g8, Liang maneuver. So I think like in 20 years when people start to realize this, then it will be more common. It will be adopted by more chess players. So here white apparently made a mistake here, rook a1. It was correct to take here, and then black goes for this endgame here. But looks like white has sufficient compensation here because he's a bit more active. Black has a pawn more, but for example, if you use defense it, then a knight here, and white has enough compensation for the pawn basically. He can always go like here, maybe here, and knight e3 and just take it, and it's drawn game. But of course, Firouzja having such a bad start, he just needs to win this game if he's gonna have any chance to advance and to the World Championship match. So they play like this, and now this pawn is weak. The knight could go here and be annoying, so computer thinks black is much better here. So white defends here, of course, but black gets that active knight. That's a bit annoying, and we can see here Gukesh play top computer move every time here, so he's playing a good game here. This doesn't give so much because yeah, I thought actually that black would pin here, but he didn't. Something like this could pin, and he can't take because this one is here. But of course he can go here also, like he did in the game. And then he does that before. So let's see, why does he do that? What's the plan? What if he take? What's the point? So the point is he wants to win here. Okay, black is still up a pawn, but it's an active rook here, and white has enough compensation for a draw here. And apparently black can sack here. I don't know if Gukesh would have seen that, but apparently the computer likes this sack here and then play like this. And this is typical computer. He's sacking a piece just for this pin here, but yeah. Then he's just apparently going with the pawn. That's not so easy to see. Let's see what computer thinks here. Okay, so he has 3 pawns for the knight, but yeah. I don't know. This also looks equal. Okay, so he played like that. Let's see here. Sorry, I looked wrong here. No, he saw it. I was looking at in a wrong variation here. Yeah, so he saw. Yeah, he actually saw that knight sack. That was interesting. I thought he didn't, but he actually saw the knight sack in the game. It's me that's not looking. Sorry for that. Black saw that knight sack. That's impressive stuff. Yeah, he saw that. And here he didn't see a5. Instead, he did rook here. Still looks fine. It's more human to try to win back the piece here, try to play like this and try to win back the knight, instead of what computer just wants to go with the a pawn. So that's understandable. Okay, and now they trade and trade, and apparently this endgame is also a draw, because these two passes are quite strong and white doesn't have so many pawns left. But we will see here something which I remember, like this wasn't so long ago, it was only half a year ago, so I remember watching this game, and here Firouzja, instead of looked a little bit more normal, maybe to try to stop the pawns, blockade the pawns in some way with the knight and the rooks. But Firouzja doesn't do that. He goes for an all-out attack and tries to attack the black king, which looks really weird because the knight is here far from the black king, and the black king has so many pawns that protect him. So I think it came as a surprise for Gukesh here. A strong play by Firouzja here. So here black made a very huge blunder here. Looks like white is threatening a fork also, but apparently not. So something like b5 was fine. Let's see what happens, because what happened with the fork, okay, you can always go, okay, so the fork is no problem because you can always play like that. I see you could also check something like this and then maybe b5. So let's not see what was the problem with his move king h7. King h7 was it was not only unnecessary, but because what will happen soon is that white will try to take here, and when the king is here, white get like this attacking attack with tempo. So he is actually winning. He's not just losing one tempo, he's actually losing two tempos probably with this one. So white's already winning after that because of this strong attack here. So now computer already wants to go back and defend here, but the problem is and he has to go for this one. I guess the problem is that he start losing pawns here, I guess. Let's just see. Okay, or he can do this one also, quite nice. Yeah, lots of tactics for white. One thing is here with the plan knight d7, this has to go, and once the rooks are like kind of doubling on the 7th, it's just no good for black. But also something like this is definitely better for white. So king h7 was a big error here, and then he follows it up with a3. He must have calculated and missed something in the end here, because Firouzja will get a nice checkmate here. So he must have missed, Gukesh must have missed this ending here. When he played king h7, he must have missed all this variation here. So now it's already forced mate almost here. So obviously if he goes here, the forced mate is this, which is known as the Arabian corner mate. If you have knight here, rook here, it's a pattern you should remember. It's known as Arabian corner mate for some reason. It was probably some Arabian player who played it first. So it's already game over here, and now maybe he thought, like he maybe only thought about the corner mate, something like this, because apparently here black can take the knight, and it's only a draw for white here, only perpetual checks. But so maybe Gukesh missed this when he started to play king 7 in move 46, this strong move knight f8, and it's forced mate now. Nothing to do. It's mate in 2 here. Checkmate. So to have this kind of a game, it was like here it was completely even game. Like for most of the game, maybe even Gukesh has been a little bit better, at least no problems, and then just make these blunders here and just lose the game immediately. Like for Gukesh to come back and win the tournament after something like this, many players would just be they would be sad, they would be angry, they would think about this, and they would start to play worse. But Gukesh didn't do that. He played even better than he ever did in the last games that we were going to look at here. Played better than ever. So that shows he has a correct mentality. So someone like Firouzja and Nepomniachtchi, they always used to be like they used to perform bad when it's extremely important, but Gukesh he performed over his expected ability in this tournament, in these last games here. So that those games will be interesting to follow. So we are here in round 7 here. So after this round, Nepomniachtchi is leading +2, Gukesh, Fabi and Prague +1, and as we will see, Hikaru will also start playing well after this, and Firouzja is still too far behind. Okay, see you next.